Volvo is boldly redefining its flagship model with the EX90, diving headfirst into a veritable shark tank of intense competition. Because large SUVs are a dime a dozen, and it has to go head-to-head against some truly serious heavyweights in the market. Those would be the VW Touareg, still the least intimidating, Audi Q7, BMW X5, and even a Porsche Cayenne. These are all vehicles in the 5-meter segment lined up here with him. And to prevent a registration massacre, Volvo had the bright idea, folks, let's roll out the new EX90 on the market and just leave the combustion engines out of the picture entirely this time around. Because this one here is fully electric, and if you're saying, oh man, I still wanted the combustion engine, don't worry, you'll still get it. It has also received another facelift and will continue to be produced alongside this model. However, it's the older generation, now 9 years old. This thing here, it's brand new, and with this, they simply want to position themselves and say electric is cool. Torchhammer, the Volvo brand signature in terms of headlights, are prominently showcased here as well. Here's the daytime light. It dips slightly lower. If you're wondering now, where exactly are my LED modules for the main headlights located? They're right in here. I'm a genuine Frank fan. Yes, and here he is indeed. About 37 to 40 liters are supposed to fit in here. We also have another tire fit set here. Everything is easily accessible. I think that's really cool. Yeah, what does seem a bit odd are these things here. You can probably hang your swimsuit on it when you're spending time at the beach. And since efficiency, especially in an electric car, is extremely important, they've also worked on aerodynamics here. A drag coefficient of 0.29. It's not exactly groundbreaking, but for a tank like this, it's definitely pretty solid. How was this achieved? Well, everything here is sealed off. There's no traditional grille. Even down here, the air intake, it's controlled by slats and is currently closed, which ensures, when I don't need cooling, that the air simply flows around the car. With a length of 5.04 meters, that's an absolute beast, and you can already tell just how tall it is. It's almost 2 meters wide, but design-wise, I think it still manages to look pretty fresh and modern and somehow incredibly stylish overall. What I really like is the roof rail that's seamlessly integrated into the roof. The door handles, they retract, they extend. When you start driving, they fold in, optimizing the aerodynamics. Yeah, and of course, here we have the frameless mirrors. We're already familiar with this from Polestar, but here they've taken it up a notch. There's a camera facing backward and another one to the side. You could easily leave out the mirrors entirely, rely on the cameras, and just have your display inside. And then you've got this Audi e-tron look. It's all happening in the wheel arch with plenty of dynamic action going on. Yeah, 20 to 22-inch wheel sizes are available for you to choose from. Yeah, aerodynamically optimized thanks to plastic trim. Yeah, in terms of rolling resistance, obviously not the best. We've got a 265 tire at the front axle and even a 295 at the rear. Yeah, if anyone's saying, hey, the wheelbase is pretty short for an SUV, it looks awesome. That's no surprise because we've got the optional air suspension on board. Not only does the front come in the latest design that we already know from the EX30, but the rear section also follows the same sleek and modern styling cues. We've got tail lights up here, and we've also got that iconic C shape integrated into the side lights. Yeah, and really cool, it extends all the way over here. We've got a rear view camera with a cleaning function. Yeah, the entire rear view is really beautifully enclosed. There's no classic bumper in that sense anymore. But what you do have is a tow hitch, and it's fully capable of handling significant weight on the hook. Ideally, that's 2.2 tons for the trailer, but only if you have the model with the 2 motors. The standard rear-wheel drive version can only tow 1,200 kilos. Charging instead of fueling is pretty quick. In an ideal scenario, with the large 111 kilowatt-hour battery, you can charge up to 250 kilowatts. However, the smaller battery with a 101 kilowatt-hour capacity can only charge at 235 kilowatts. Yes, and the standard Type 2 connector can handle 11. Function over design? No, wait, the other way around. Design over function. The handle to open the tailgate is positioned quite low down. I'm sure you're constantly ending up with black fingers throughout the winter months. I tried opening it with our key, but unfortunately, the foot kick feature didn't seem to function properly here this time. When you've opened the trunk, you'll find a trunk space that, at first glance, seems rather modest. This is due to the fact that we have 3 seat rows here. When they're up, is there any trunk space at all? According to Volvo, it's 310 liters, which I don't see at the moment, but a simple press of this button here is all it takes, and the seats fold forward electrically. And you get the optimal trunk space of 690 liters. What's not so great, though, is the roller blind. It could definitely use improvement. It only fits, you see, when the folding seats are in place, with the 3rd row of seats here installed. If you want to install this here in the front, then it's simply too small, it's just lying around, yeah. And for a car that already costs a lot of money, you'll have to shell out another 120 euros for this, for the second one, yeah. So then I'll have 2 sunshades in the car, guys, for what? The solution to the sunshade problem is hidden right here behind this. You can hang it down here, could then place it in here, and have it stored down here, yeah. And on top of that, you've got some really nice deep cargo space volume where you can fit whatever else. Useless stuff you can throw in there that you'll never need again. Welcome to the interior. Yeah, and it really has its charm. This feels really, really good here. We've got fine materials, decorative stitching, and a fabric-covered headliner. Yeah, the pillars here, it all feels really awesome. There's a head-up display. Yeah, the steering wheel. It's all crafted from high-quality vegan leather, and the seats here are super comfortable and supportive too. Those who want it get recycled materials, even on seats and center console. So it feels really good, and a really cool feature is that you have these decorative strips here, which are actually backlit with LEDs. The display here is super practical. You have the most important data right here. You can still tweak the graphics a little bit. Yeah, and the multifunction steering wheel really lives up to its name because you not only have controls for your radio system and other things here, but you can also, or rather, you even need to come over here to carefully adjust and precisely fine-tune your steering wheel settings. It's done with these buttons, offering an extra function via the submenu. That's what you'd call a truly clever solution. The well-known Google operating system is also included here in its most recent version. The display here measures 14.5 inches. The operation is really smooth, it works nicely and fluidly without any lag. What I really like, I have to say, is the 360-degree camera. Just take a look at how incredibly sharp everything looks here. There are cameras where you just think, my God, from what decade are those? But this one, I really like it. This is how it should be, just perfect. Yes, the handling itself, as I mentioned earlier, is quite smooth and intuitive. You're already familiar with the basics from other Volvo models. Here, you can download apps, and there are also some games for the kids. The speed camera app is, of course, essential here, as we all know. It's also pre-installed. What takes a bit of getting used to, I really have to say, is the hazard light switch in its digital functionality. I actually wasn't familiar with that until now. I've always known just a manual one, but there's even one up here again. See, there I found it. That's definitely a cool thing. We've got an additional feature here as well. Here we have the steering wheel heating, we have the seat heating, and if you want, you also get seat ventilation. However, this is always only accessible through this second touch, just like the temperature. The bar here, it is indeed there, but it's not fully available in its entirety. The stylish Volvo feel, we've got that here in our seats as well. It's a kind of sheep's wool, also a sustainable material. I really like it, feels really nice. It doesn't always have to be leather. It's available in synthetic leather on the headrests. Why the black grills, you might wonder? There's actually a speaker tucked behind it, since we've got the Bowers and Wilkins sound system here, delivering 1,645 watts of power. Yes, it costs an extra 3,050 euros, includes a total of 25 speakers, and it really delivers some serious sound to your ears. If the audio tracks really come in with that level of quality, this thing absolutely rocks. A classic key doesn't even exist anymore. This little, case, this little box, that's all there is left here. It doesn't even have buttons. It's simply designed to unlock and lock the vehicle as you approach. For those who want, you can also get the smart key. It has the app on it, and you can simply open and close your vehicle with your phone. This thing has another special feature. You need to charge it inductively. Up here on the phone charging pad, there's an extra compartment for it. Just place it here every now and then to charge the device, so that the proximity function. can continue to activate. There's actually no battery inside here, just capacitors that are then supplied with voltage to function. If they ever run out of charge, there's absolutely no need to worry. There's an NFC chip integrated, allowing you to manually unlock your vehicle directly at the door handle whenever needed. The floating center console is super practical, with storage, cup holders, and a sleek roller cover. Top notch. There's also a second compartment for extra items. The USB ports are a bit awkward to reach, so once the cable's plugged in, it's best to leave it as is. It's not the most convenient placement, but it's manageable once you've got everything set up. Not all the switches have been completely removed. There's a very classic volume control that looks super stylish and even offers a few extra features. Access to the third row of seats is achieved by simply pushing the middle seat forward a little bit. But overall, it feels quite cramped in this section. I think it's really more suited for kids who'd absolutely love crawling back here. The grandma for sure, I wouldn't place her here. The space in the back is absolutely fine and more than sufficient, no complaints there. The third row is optional, it's not standard, this one's always included. You can slightly adjust the seats, you can also change the angle of the backrest as needed. For those who want, you'll naturally get individual climate control here as well. He gets seat heating, it all feels really good. The sense of space, that works perfectly fine for me. What I really like here is the glass roof. There's no shade, but it has a special coating so it doesn't get too hot in the summer. And you really have a great sense of space here. What I unfortunately find a bit disappointing for a family car is that it only has ISOFIX mounts on the outer seats. We have the optional air suspension on board, and it really does an amazing job of smoothing out every bump effortlessly. You could better get out because it actually lowers the vehicle height just slightly when you come to a full stop, making it easier to exit. You can adjust your rear loading edge using an extra switch, so the air suspension is definitely worth recommending. Which motorization are you getting? You'll have 3 different drive units, engines, configurations in total. First, a very classic rear-mounted engine with a power output of 269 horsepower, and then, of course, the all-wheel drive models, the dual motor, the twin-engine setups with both a front and a rear motor. There are 2 distinct performance categories. On one hand, we've got the basic setup of the AWD with its standard configuration. 408 horsepower, yes. And then here in our vehicle, we have the performance version installed, which offers an upgrade to 517 horsepower, as well as a torque of 910 Newton meters. The all-around view is fantastic, I have to say. The mirrors are nice and big, giving you a clear and wide view of everything around you. And I still find the classic mirrors appealing, even though many are switching to displays now. I just like them. They're practical, timeless, and reliable. Especially here with the frameless design, it looks really good. The electric seats can be adjusted individually, just how you like it. It's a bit tricky because we only have one adjustment lever for multiple sub-functions. It's quite similar to the steering wheel adjustment. You'll need to navigate through the display a bit to truly find your ideal seating position. The top speed, typical for Volvo, is 180 kilometers per hour. With the large 111 kilowatt-hour battery, Volvo estimates a maximum range of up to 599 kilometers for our model. With the little extra equipment we have on board, whether you'll achieve that in everyday life, I doubt it. We are currently here with a battery level of 85%, but with 470 kilometers shown on the display, we still have a fairly decent and respectable value. I think on the highway it naturally goes down a bit. The consumption according to Volvo is around 21 kilowatt hours. But you know, if you've ever driven an electric car, these are usually the ideal values in city traffic where you can recuperate a lot. On the highway, I think it will probably stabilize somewhere around 27 kilowatt hours. That's what we already put to the test during our first drive this morning. The topic of driver assistance systems clearly plays a role here. We've got the pilot assist feature on board. That's the maximum level of development. You really have a complete 360-degree view. You have a certified lane change assistant that, when you tap the turn signal, simply shifts you over to the lane and, yes, keeps an eye on everything with all the cameras. We have the LiDAR up here, which can detect up to 250 meters ahead, regardless of the weather, and in combination with the relatively modest top speed of 180 kilometers per hour. There's naturally much more time available to prevent any potential accidents and to thoroughly analyze the incoming data. And to make this really fast, the data analysis, there are two central processors from NVIDIA installed here. And through these two central processors, all the functions of the vehicle come together and are centrally evaluated and calculated. An important point that I've been withholding from you the whole time, the vehicle weight. Yes, despite all the handiness and clarity, it's just always there. Undeniable. Here we're dealing with a total weight of 2,800 kilograms, so it's definitely quite the heavy-duty tank you're maneuvering around with here. No doubt whatsoever about it at all. How the EX90 will fare in the Shark Tank of premium SUVs, well, that's up to you as the customer and buyer to decide. Yes, and that brings us to the most important point, the price. The rear-wheel drive version starts at €83,700. Our model features all-wheel drive and includes the dual motor performance upgrade as standard. And in the highest trim level, the Ultra with 7 seats. That costs around, as it stands here now, €120,100. A lot of money. The fact that Volvo doesn't see the main Asian market here in Germany is also shown by the production location, as they have already proactively moved it there where the largest sales markets are expected. That includes the USA, where it just fits. A 5-meter SUV is considered more of a compact vehicle there. Yes, and of course, at the parent company Geely in China, it also rolls off the production line and then ends up here with us as an export vehicle. Yes, I'd be absolutely thrilled if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit the bell, subscribe to the channel, and definitely tune in again for the next exciting episode. I say thank you, ciao, and goodbye, EX90.